the sweltering heat of a Trinidad plantation in the 1790s, long before the refineries of Tate and Lyne would rise in distant London, a young man named Kofi toiled under the relentless sun. Captured from his village in West Africa and chained aboard a slave ship, he had survived the horrors of the Middle Passage only to be sold to a British sugar estate in the Caribbean. The air was thick with the sweet, cloying scent of cane juice, mingled with the sweat and blood of hundreds like him. Each dawn, overseers cracked whips to drive the enslaved workers into the fields. Kofi swung his machete from sunrise to sunset, hacking at the sharp stalks that tore at his skin. "Faster, the mill waits for no one," bellowed the overseer, a man whose fortune depended on the raw sugar that would one day sail across the Atlantic to feed Britain's growing appetite for sweetness. Beside Kofi worked Amara, a woman strong as the roots of the baobab trees from her homeland. She carried heavy bundles of cane to the crushing mill, her back bent under the load. Children no older than 10 fed the stalks into the grinders, their small hands risking amputation with every turn. At night in the dim huts they whispered stories of freedom, of ancestors who ran free under African skies. But rebellion meant death lashes, branding, or the noose. The plantation owner lived in a grand house overlooking the fields, sipping rum distilled from the molasses byproduct. His wealth came from the sugar that sweetened tea in London drawing rooms, refined later in factories that would bear names like Tate and Lyne. Those refineries, built on the foundations of this brutal trade, imported the raw product from estates like this one, where lives were ground down like the cane itself. One stormy night, Kofi and a few others slipped into the darkness, fleeing toward the mountains. Many were recaptured, punished severely as a warning, but whispers of their courage spread, fueling the fires of resistance that would one day help end the trade. Years later, as abolition dawned in 1833, the estates turned to indentured laborers from India and elsewhere new chains in old fields. The sugar flowed on, carrying echoes of suffering to the tables of the world. In the end, sweetness came at a bitter cost, a legacy etched into every grain.